Like, hello.
When I was pregnant, I worked it out with my boyfriend. Welfare was giving us $9 a day for both of us who were on the while we were pregnant. So we kind of spectrum for welfare.
And see, like, they don't need to come down to the center anymore, you know? Like, she's doing so great, he's doing so great, baby's doing wonderful. But as wonderful as those guys are doing, they still have to expose themselves to the negativity that they're in beforehand. Just so they can eat. You know, so, I mean, that's, lunches and everything else, that's what, you know, these are the type of people who get the stuff outside of the center, you know? And hopefully you can continue on doing it. That's what Mom did for myself and my baby and my husband to keep us from having to go down.
Much more.
So Mom's still doing that through all you guys, hopefully for these guys and whoever comes next. Yeah, I buy groceries now, and I can't imagine with my daughter and my husband spending less than $100 a week. And it goes, well, we have the dog and the cat too, so they eat too and they eat well. But, you know, but I do remember the times where we went to the grocery store with $20 and bought some food, and that cupboard was for my daughter, and that's it. My husband and I literally ate ketchup soup. And, you know, and that's the thing, it's like, how can you be good parents if you can't even eat, you're stressed out and tired, you take babysitting, but you're not. You know, so, yeah, I didn't even know how important food was until it actually started coming through. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that $190.
And that was a few days.
7 years ago. And the food types changed as well.
Well, 190 for one person, so $100 a week for them. And it's pretty good.
And that's what I can imagine how you even have to grocery budget anymore with the housing costs and rent too. That's ridiculous. I mean, I think that's what a lot of people, you know, we do have a lot of people that there with substance abuse problems and other problems, but we have a lot of people that, you know, just need to be able to talk to somebody about the problem, and the substance abuse is gone. You know, they're just dealing with so many levels of stuff, and I know myself, it's just a lot easier to get high and find food that way. You know, then I'm not worried about everything else. I'm not feeling down about myself anymore, and I'm not worrying about why I'm not going to have what I want for tomorrow.
Well, that's the odd thing. It's the Christchurch Cathedral with George Gerard has become a morning drop-in center for most of the older guys on the street. And that's all it is. It's essentially a morning social club, and, you know, we just talk about our problems for each other. And it actually shut down last summer, and Mickey and I were absolutely lost without it all summer. God, when I'm back, you know, I miss you guys, and just somebody that shoot the breeze with, to have a normal conversation. Yeah, exactly.
I think that's another piece of most of it. I mean, if you're living outside, you're always being looked at, you know you are. You may ignore it, but you know you are.
Yeah.
And when you walk into a regular coffee shop or anything, you do not feel comfortable at all. And I know that's a big part of what our center offers to youth, is it's just like a little bit of comfort. You know, nobody's judging you when you're in our center. And
I remember the morning I came along and you were in tears because you'd gone in to buy coffee and rolls at Glenn's. And although there were 3 staff standing around doing nothing, they wouldn't serve her. She had a $20 bill and they said your money's no good to her.
Well, first they said we don't serve the tiny shit. I had a sushi, so I guess I wasn't done that sushi. And there was about 20 people sitting in Glenn's, and I turned around and said, does anybody hear this? I'm just trying to buy a coffee.
Yeah.
And that was like, I had been refused service before. I was okay with that, but I think that just the way the reactions from everybody else, I walked out crying my eyes out. And thankfully, Mom went to everybody. She said, if you go to that Glenn's, I'm not giving you any more sandwiches.
I was just going to ask you, which one?
I just said, Davy and Furlough. Oh, no, Davy and Hughes. Sorry, get that right.
Oh.
And it was about 6, 7 years ago.
It doesn't matter.
I don't really buy it Glenn's right now because of that. But I think that's what it comes to. It's like, that was just, you know, a 5-minute span in my day. I cried about it for a minute and got, you know, I'll get over it. Because that's what these street kids and street adults have to do. They get over it. You know, I think the biggest realization for me was a youth who had totally been victimized and came in, and at that time I was in makeup school, so I had my foot very much in 2 different worlds. And what I realized is I spent the whole night teaching him or empowering him to how to get over this for yourself and how to move on to tomorrow so that this is not hanging on you and dragging you down. And then I went to school. And overnight went to school and I'm sitting with all these people who are from a very different world than me, and I was thinking, if this had happened to any one of you guys, it would have been front page news. You would be crying, and people would be just coming out to help you. But I just sat and got this kid all night long to accept what had happened and move on. So it's such a different environment that it's really, I think that if you're too far in one or too far in the other, you just can't even see it. You just don't understand it at all, so you get really close-minded to it. But
two things that happened early on really impacted my thinking. One was when JR had pneumonia and he had a sign saying he needed money for antibiotics. And some people came out of the bar and laughing. One man said, "This is how we keep the dirt down in Canada, boys," and urinated all over him. And another one was,
Tony?
no, I lost. Yeah, Tony's another one, but
about him.
Tony, 8 years old, his grandma died. He stayed with her for a week before they found him. Put him in foster care, and the foster family said, "You have to stay in the basement because you can't sit at the table with the white people." And,
Foster family.
yeah,
I hope they were fostering.
I'm sure they're still fostering. There are many homes that are bad. There are wonderful, wonderful foster homes, but the bad ones are the ones that are destroying people.
Sometimes it's better to go and see
Yeah. Anyway, Tony left and he's been on the street ever since. And then he broke his foot, and the doctor said, "Come back when the swelling goes down and we'll cast it." So I took him home, and 3 days later, I could tell he was in very bad trouble, so we called an ambulance, and he had the flesh eating disease. And they scraped his foot and left it open for 3 weeks, but we had a prayer vigil all night. When they scraped all the muscle and stuff off, they said that they'd have to take the leg off in the morning. But in the morning, the doctors said, "Well, we don't know what's going on, but it's quick, like it hasn't spread." So they left it open for 3 weeks, waiting for it to spread. And then they did transplants from his other leg of muscle and skin. And he was out of the hospital about 4 or 5 months. And some guy comes up to him when he's sitting eating his food with a little plastic spoon and said, "Get his jaw, you dirty Indian," and jumped on his foot and broke it. He jumped up and attacked the guy with a plastic spoon and went to jail for assault with a weapon.
They arrested him out of jail, out of the hospital, as soon as he was okay enough to be coherent enough to be dragged off to jail.
No, that time they took him to jail with his broken foot. They wouldn't believe it was broken until he got gangrene, and they had to cut more than half of the foot off. He's got his leg bone going down like this.
And then just 2 weeks ago, he had actually had another incident outside and couldn't get any help. He's too old for a lot of the centers, plus he's also had behavior problems that have not been able, other centers have not been able to help him. So he came to us, couldn't help him inside the center, so we went across the street, right outside of the hospital, ironically enough, but that he's not allowed into, to clean his wounds. So it was myself and another street kid, medical stuff we had at the center, cleaned his wounds up, and, you know, this poor guy, you know, we're cleaning up his wounds, he has his half foot exposed, he's very, very shy about it. The security guard comes up to kick us out of where we are because it just doesn't look good. And instead of, the security guard comes up to kick us out, and the first thing he does is look at his foot. And I could feel it immediately, and then I just grabbed, you know, my shirt and covered his foot because he doesn't need that. And he just looked at me, and in the quietest, softest voice, he just said, "We need to hurry up now because now I'm the freak show." And
he has calmed down. He has changed so much in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
He's really improved. But I mean, no wonder he's bitter and angry.
But again, all through my life, most of the guys